Hi, Madam Secretary. I'd like to pick up on your comments on human rights. You've been criticized by human rights groups and most recently the Washington Post editorial page just yesterday for pulling your punches on human rights in China, especially leading up to this meeting today. Despite that criticism, do you still stand by your position that human rights should not take a backseat to economic and environmental concerns, get in the way of your agenda there? What explicitly did you ask the Foreign Minister to do today with regard to human rights in China and in Tibet? And what do you plan on asking them during this upcoming dialogue? Thank you.
Well, human rights is part of our comprehensive dialogue. It doesn't take a front seat or a back seat or a middle seat. It is part of the broad range of issues that we are discussing. But it is important to try to create a platform for actually seeing results from our human rights engagement. It's also important, as I said in my remarks, that that the United States live up to our own ideals, something that sets us apart as an exemplar of human rights. So the Obama administration is absolutely committed to a robust, comprehensive human rights agenda. We're going to look for ways where we can be effective, where we can actually produce outcomes that will matter in the lives of people who are struggling for their rights to be full participants in their societies. So I think that there is no doubt about our commitment. We're exploring different ways of being effective in delivering on that commitment, and whether it's with China or any other nation, we're going to continue to look for opportunities to not just talk about human rights, but actually to try to advance the agenda on human rights. Later this afternoon, I'll be giving awards to some extraordinarily courageous women who have stood up in their own countries against human rights abuses. We're supporting them. We're supporting their efforts, their organizations within their countries to not only demonstrate the importance of human rights, but to actually make changes that will benefit the people that they are fighting for. So there are many ways that we're going to pursue a human rights agenda.
We have a question from Morris, please. You mentioned the nuclearization of North Korea. And yesterday, Mr. Bosner came back and we talked with him about his trip. My question is, what did you talk about with him yesterday? And did you talk about with Foreign Minister of China today in case of possible launch of a missile by North Korea? Thank you very much.
Well, Ambassador Bosworth gave me a full report about his productive meetings in Tokyo, Seoul, and Beijing. As you know, he was not invited to go to North Korea, which we regret. He was prepared to go on a moment's notice to begin discussions with the North Koreans. As I have been doing with all of our six-party partners, I did it last Friday night in Geneva with Foreign Minister Lavrov, again today with Foreign Minister Yang. We believe in the six-party talks, and we believe in the goal of denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. We are committed to that. We would like to see the six-party talks resume at the earliest possible moment. We are outspoken in our opposition to the North Koreans' missile launch, and we believe that that is a unified position, and that each of the members of the six-party talks have attempted to dissuade North Korea from proceeding. And we are also agreed that we will discuss a response if we are not successful in convincing them not to go forward with what is a very provocative act. There are a range of options available to take action against the North Koreans in the wake of the missile launch if they pursue that, but also to try to resume the six-party talks. Let's not confuse the two. The goal of denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula remains a paramount goal, and the six-party talks framework should be restarted so that we can begin to work on that. We need to have a conversation about missiles, and it wasn't in the six-party talks. We would like to see it be part of the discussion with North Korea. But most importantly, we would like to see North Korea evidence in some way their willingness to re-engage with all of us and to work together on the agenda that they agreed to in the six-party talks. And that's what we're working for. Oh, are you ready?
Madam Secretary, one last question. TV Asahi. One last quick question, please.
Mike LaValle from TBS.
Hi.
Hi. Madam Secretary, I just kind of want to follow up on what you said about North Korea just now. First, with the Chinese minister, they see it a little bit differently than we do, whether it's violating UN Resolution 1718, if they are launching for a satellite launch. And I was just wondering if you were able to get any headway about agreement on that with Minister Yang. And secondly, it seemed like you were just saying now that even if they go ahead with a missile launch, that there still may be possibility of continuing on with the six-party talks. So I was just wondering, is that the feeling that they're completely separate issues and that we would be able to continue with six-party even if there is a missile launch?
Well, of course, we won't know until it happens. What we are trying to do is to restart the six-party talks as soon as possible. We think that's in everyone's interest to do so, to continue the disablement of the nuclear facilities, to work toward the goal of denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. We believe that the missile launch, for whatever purpose it is stated to be aimed at, is in violation of the Security Council resolution. I think that our partners in the six-party talks are concerned about the missile launch. They are willing to address it if it does happen with us in a variety of ways, including the Security Council. But I don't want to, talk about hypotheticals. We are still working to try to dissuade the North Koreans. But it is important to recognize that the North Koreans entered into obligations regarding denuclearization that we intend to try to hold them to. And that is something we're going to do regardless of what happens with what they may or may not launch in the future. These six-party talks are the vehicle that we have, which has proven to be effective, which did set forth a set of obligations which the North Koreans agreed to, and we would like to get back to those and begin discussions as soon as it would be feasible, and we're pushing that right now. Thank you all very much. It's not over until the lady in the pantsuit says it is.